Nick Fundytus here from Royal LePage Performance Realty. The second stage of purchasing a home is actually searching for one. So we're talking about the home search in this video. So if you'll remember from the last video, there's you, the purchasers, represented by this red-haired couple here. And then there's your lender. That's the guy with the money bag next to him. It could be your mortgage broker or your bank, most likely. But let's add a realtor in here. And let's talk a little bit about what they add to the home search. Now, a realtor, people are more familiar with a realtor as the person who lists a home, so it has their name on the sign out in front of a house. But actually, in Ontario, 95+% of all purchases are done with the buyers being represented by their own realtor. Let's talk about the difference between searching on your own and searching with a realtor. And I want to make it really clear that you absolutely can buy a house without using a realtor, but there are many advantages, and in fact it costs you nothing extra to use your own realtor. So in either case, you can see all publicly available homes. Your realtor is not going to discriminate whether you're going to see a new build or whether you're going to see a property that's listed on the MLS by a full service brokerage or a partial service brokerage or even a for sale by owner. You can see all of them either way. If you work on your own, you're generally going to have contact with listing agents or sellers in the case of for sale by owners. And with listing agents, the process will be that you call the sign that's out in front of the house and you ask for an appointment. And so in that case, the listing agent may represent you as a customer with their seller being a client. With a realtor, one of the things that we can do is we can help you find what's called pocket inventory. And pocket inventory would be, so in a neighborhood like where I live, I know that there's 2 or 3 realtors who do most of the work here. They sell most of the homes. So if I'm looking in this neighborhood and I don't know of a property that's coming up and I don't see any listed on the MLS that are appropriate for my clients, then I would talk to one of these main realtors in the area and I would ask them if they have anything that's coming up. And it's a good way to find properties that aren't on the market yet, but are on their way. And this is something that a good realtor will do for you. Either way, you can visit open houses. That's a very common thing that everybody does, whether they're working with a realtor or not. If you work with a realtor, it's fair to the listing agent. It's a courtesy to let them know that you are working with a realtor so that they can spend more time with possibly unrepresented purchasers in the house to give them information. Of course, a listing agent who's hosting an open house does have to answer all your questions, honestly and completely. A realtor is also going to schedule showings for you. We can do what's called previewing homes to save time. This is a showing, except in a preview, I'm the only person who's going to the house, and I'm going to be making notes, or I might make a video or invite you in on a Zoom call, or I might just write you an email later that said, hey, 123 Main Street was, I went to go see it today because it came up on your search. It wasn't a house for you because we've seen a bunch of other ones that look like this, and I knew that you hated that in those other houses, and 123 Main Street had the same thing. There's no additional cost using a realtor. In the end, we are paid by the listing brokerage out of the amount that is set aside for realtors in the listing agreement that they have with the listing agent. So what that means is that the total commission that's paid on a listing either all stays with the listing agent, or in 95% plus of cases, half of it or some portion of it is split and shared with the purchasing broker. So there is no particular incentive for us to take you to one house or another because we're being paid the same way no matter what, and we're being paid by the listing brokerage. The loyalty is to the buyer. This is both by contract and by our Code of Ethics in the Real Estate Business and Brokers Act. We are not allowed to disclose anything to a seller that would or a listing agent that would undermine your negotiating position. We coordinate all dates and professionals, so at some stages you may have a home inspector or a lawyer or a mortgage broker, and we are kind of the quarterback of that team to make sure that everybody is doing what they're supposed to do and that you are not missing any steps. So a realtor is supposed to be the expert that's on your side throughout the home buying process. Last thing I want to touch on is just what it means to be the client of a realtor. In Ontario, you can be represented by a realtor as either a client or a customer. Now, a customer is generally, if you call a listing agent who has a home listed for sale and they have the seller as their client, they will often represent you as a customer, explaining that they have to treat you fairly and honestly. But anything that you say needs to be disclosed to their seller because they owe a higher level of duty to their seller. If you work with your own buyer agent, you're being represented as a client. So at this stage, just to sum up, your realtor is helping you find the best suited home for you. You're searching by a process of elimination. So it means that in the end, we're just trying to find the best home that's available out there for you. And trying to make sure that we're not getting distracted by all of the options that are out there and just keeping in mind what your needs and wants are from the first stage. Your realtor is now holding the best rates and terms for you. Your mortgage broker is holding the best rates and terms for you. And this is often done as something called a rate hold, where they can hold a particular rate for you for 90 days or a specific set of time. So to sum up, it is a process of elimination. So use the tools and the people that are with you to avoid getting overwhelmed. Many people get really excited about this stage, but it can get a little stressful, and the idea of having the other people on your team is to help remove some of that stress. I hope you found this useful, and if you're looking for more resources, I've got a ton at nickfundytus.ca, or you can see my interview with a buyer agent on my podcast, Realtor in Your Pocket.